From Transformers, Age of the Primes, it is Sky-Byte, the singing shark. Yes, Sky-Byte, who was introduced in Robots in Disguise, 2001, or Car Robot if you want to go back to 2000. And yeah, he had appearances also in Cyberverse. So he has become a popular character over the years, and they're bringing him back. But before I go any further, I do want to thank Toy Hacks for sponsoring this video. And Toy Hacks, if you're not familiar, not only can they do some amazing G1 replacement stickers, but they can glow up your newest Transformers. Like, check out this Age of the Primes Silverbolt just before and after, adding all the real cool stickers that just make your Transformers pop. So check out Toy Hacks at toyhacks.com for their stickers, for their armory, for their backdrops. And again, thanks so much to them. But we're going to talk about Sky-Byte. And Sky-Byte is going to be removed from this package and examined thoroughly, and we're going to have some fun along the way. If you're new to the channel, I'm Captain Kyle. Welcome aboard. If you've been watching for a while, thanks so much for coming back. That's very cool of you. All right, what are we waiting for? Oh, be right back. So you can see him through his window, and again, the return of the window boxes is great for those who are purchasing at stores, because you don't have to worry about missing heads or accessories, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it still can happen that someone might repackage things, but you know. But you can see on the back him in his two modes. And I'm very curious because the original Sky-Byte was based off of Transmetal 2 Cybershark, and he had a bit of a curve to him. Kind of like Bill Clinton. Too soon? But I'm going to pop this guy open and let's take him out. Now you can see him on his cardboard prison there. He's got some fins on his screws. He's got a weapon up here. We've got the figure and no sign of Autobot paper. But we do have a paper right here that I'm going to get rid of because it's shitty. And we have instructions. So I'm going to put the box aside and let's get to snipping off these bombs. So to my recollection, when I was buying Beast Wars, Transmetal 2 Cybershark, not the most popular of characters. I mean, he wasn't a show character, and while the mold was kind of cool, he wasn't that appealing. I think he was a bit of a shelf warmer. But then, for Car Robots, they went ahead and recolored him and made him into a character that was much more beloved. So we'll put him right there. We're gonna disconnect the feet so he can stand, but we still have to get the fins out. So it looks like there is some assembly required. What is also required is getting all this plastic crap off my table. I usually don't have these problems with third party or Takara Tomy stuff, but Hasbro loves the plastic crap. So let me take a look at the instructions. It does show taking his weapon. I'm going to zoom in a little closer so you can see him better. And his original weapon was a dual missile launcher, which, again, not missing the missiles that will just fly off and get lost. So you can put that there. You can also attach it inside the shark mouth when you don't want to use it. But let me get these off the sprue here and get these properly attached. So these pieces are like mega shoulder pads. I thought we were dealing with the 2000s, not the 80s. And you plug those in there, and the fins plug in back here. And the fins are not the same. So the one with more edges goes on this side. The one with the can opener or the bottle opener goes on the other side. So there he is in full outfitted glory. I'm going to take his gun out just in case that interferes with the transformation later. And we'll put that in his hand for now. And let's take a look at some deco and then some posability. How's that? First of all, let's put him on the turntable of doom, give him a spin. Now his head is kind of pointy, that kind of happens. But he does have some nice coloration on the front here. It almost looks like eyes, kind of like the crystal from the Transmetal 2, but colored in. He's got the rear fin as a hand and then just a regular hand, so he can carry a weapon. Lots of nice detailing on him to make him more mechanical. So he's not trying to really be a real shark. He is trying to be pretty much a cyber shark or a Cybertronian shark. And in addition to going into the water, he can apparently go into the air and fly around because he is Sky-Byte. Though the way byte is spelled, you would think he'd be a computer expert. I tend to doubt that he's that. But let's check out some posability here. Now he does have ankle swivels that are pretty generous, so he can get down. But of course, what I always want to see, and I think he's going to be able to do it, is a full Jean-Claude Van Damme. Now, his shark mouth, you have to kind of move back in order for him to get really down. But still, he He is just slightly not wide enough. There we go. We kind of got him balanced on the turntable of doom so you can see him in that pose. And no, someone asked if they ever saw a tour of my entire collection, if they would all be in that pose. No. One, some of them can't do it, and two, that would take up way too much space. He can kick forward, like so. He can kick back, but you have to bend up the shark head in order to kind of kick back any height. Sidekick, I mean, he goes way high with a sidekick. In fact, he does more than a split. His legs are way up there. Bends at the knee. Now, one thing to be careful of is because of his transformation, there's this joint here. You don't want to do that. Though that would be a surprise kneeing somebody, but he's got these spikes here that makes kneeing more effective. Now, he does swivel, but it's basically not all the way around because he's got this piece on his upper thigh that interferes with that. If you go off to the side, you can go all the way around, but straight up and down, you cannot because of that particular piece. Twisting at the waist, let's check it out. He does all the way around. Very nice. Very, very nice. Now, his arms, if you move these up, can pretty much go all the way around. He keeps running into things like fins and stuff, so you have to angle it out a little bit. But if you put up his shoulder pad, yes, he can go all the way around. He bends at the elbow, and he does have a swivel. Very nice swivel. I'm going to take this out because otherwise it's just going to come out anyway. The arm can go out to the side, which is nice. The fists do not... Wait. Maybe they do. They twist a little bit. Well, they don't twist at the wrist. They twist a little above the wrist. So you can twist them around for additional posability, but, well, it's only on the one hand. The other one, I mean, you can twist the tail. That bends at the elbow, also has a swivel. I normally, both arms are the same, so I don't have to worry about it, but in this case, I have to. And of course, you can make it into the claw, so he can try to pick up things and keep dropping them and waste his quarters as he's trying to pick up shit. His head, all the way around, not a problem. In fact, you got a nice grip here that you can grip the fin. Overall, a nice looking figure, a nice representation of the original Sky-Byte. Again, it was interesting having to put together all those pieces. Oh, what can you do? That's how it works. Otherwise, you would have had to worry about, a much bigger box probably. So this works very nicely. You can also turn his shoulder pads. I don't know if that's something you might want to do, but you could be surprised and the shoulder pads could go up. You could also, use those, I guess, for flight. I don't know. Use your imagination. But yes, he is a Voyager class. Because of his fin on the top, he's like 8 inches tall. If you were to go from his normal head, he'd be like 7 inches tall, which is pretty on par for Voyagers nowadays. But I'm liking him. One more spin on the turntable of doom, and let's get him into his beast mode. Oh, but before we do that, just real quick, you can also take off his fins and put them in his hand. If you want a double weapon, almost looks like a Klingon batleth. Kapla! You have no honor. All right, beast mode. So there is Sky-Byte in his shark mode. Now, you can actually put his gun in his mouth, or I think you can still hide it away inside his mouth the way you did before if you don't want it sticking out. But he can shoot missiles as a shark. And I have to say, I am pretty impressed with the transformation. It was pretty complex. I'm going to need to do a video on it. I'm going to need to practice it a little bit just to make it smoother. But yeah, he comes together very nicely. Now his arms make up his back fin, which you can actually move from side to side, which is kind of cool. You can also adjust his fins, and his mouth opens fully so he can bite you in the sky. And if you really want to, now the original one had a gimmick where you would have a little thing here and it would spin the tail. I mean, if you want to have him with these extra blades to the side, you can do that. The instructions say that way, but you can do whatever you want. It's your goddamn toy. But yeah, it doesn't have that gimmick, but he's pretty solid. He reminds me of, though a bit more complex, of the original Cyber Shark, though with less removing things, because you kind of had to remove his head in order to put it in his hand in robot mode. But yeah, overall, he's got a lot of things that you have to line up and pop into place. And he looks like he should have gimmicks here, but these are just joints, things that move when he's in robot mode. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed. I like the deco on him, the red eyes. And yeah, he looks like a shark that got into an accident because he was an astronaut. And we had the technology. We could rebuild him. We could make the first $6 million shark. No, with all these upgrades, it'd be a lot more than $6 million nowadays. Yeah, the only thing that's a little distracting is when you open it up, you have these ports here for the gun. Overall, pretty solid, cool figure. Everything comes together very nicely. Well done, Hasbro. Again, I didn't like the original, the fact that it was permanently in a curved state. Here, if you want him to be curved, you can curve his tail. Do that yourself. But he's just straight on sharp. I like it. And of course, I'll put a link in the description for you guys. And there may be some ways you can glow up this particular toy. But again, I would like to thank our sponsor, Toy Hacks, for sponsoring this video. And again, check them out for their reproduction G1 stickers. That's bailed out me and a lot of other collectors from crappy looking Transformers. I still have to get more. And of course, you can glow up your new stuff, Age of the Primes, and you can go back to Combiner Wars, you can go back to Titans Returns. But really, the results speak for themselves. It just adds quite a bit to your Transformers. And if you enjoy putting on stickers, that adds a lot more to your enjoyment of the toy as well. But yeah, a very cool version of Sky-Byte. And while you are mulling over this really, really cool shark, actually check out this video here, which is also someone from the 2001 Robots in Disguise to Omega Prime. Fun video to watch. And I will see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.